Hello, I think, oh yeah, good morning. It is Lara here, but you can call me Laz for Walnut All Day 4. I hope you have been having a really nice week. I don't feel very good today. So just letting you know, might be a little bit off. I didn't wake up wrong. I just I don't know. Hi, Bron. I shouldn't have. Yeah. Anyway, I don't feel that great, so excuse my flatness. But this is a good test for remember, morning Stano. Yay, I made it! Yay. This is a good test for me because remember I said that I was doing this to practice talking live and also to continue practice showing up for myself. So yeah, it's good. It's good for me to not feel good and still show up, which I think is great. Today, just a reminder, if you are on the replay, hashtag Walnut Wednesday, so I know you were here and can say hello to later. Today is the last day of screenshotting and sharing because tomorrow, well, tomorrow's the last day, but today's the last day of the screenshot. You understand? I just have a quick sip of my moo. Oh dear, yeah, you made it live, well done. Far out. Okay, one more sip. Sorry guys. Okay, so today is the last day to screenshot to go in the draw for the prize, which I will draw on day 5 tomorrow, live on the video. So screenshot and tag at Walnut Wednesday. I liked when this one came through. So yeah, screenshot my little face, share, tag Walnut Wednesday, and then you go in the draw. If you have done all 3 days already, you get, that means you will have 3 entries. If you do today, that's 4 entries. And if you share yesterday's podcast, episode 15, you get an extra draw. So you can have up to 5 of your names in the draw. Pretty cool. And then I'll draw it tomorrow. Morning, Foxy. I was just saying that I don't feel very good today. So it might be a little bit, I don't know. Today I wanted to chat. Oh, tell me how your week's going. Tell me how your affirmations, did you move again? And tell me how you're feeling. Did you potentially wake up wrong this week and you didn't realize that you were waking up wrong and now you have a definition for what that kind of feels like? Let me know. Sarah's here, good morning. Yeah, tell me because I want to hear about it. I want to know, and feel free to share in the group like Hannah did yesterday, because it's nice for us. It's like a little bug, sorry, excuse me. Because it's nice for us all to become a little walnut tree collective. Maybe it should be called the Walnut Tree Collective, and just all share tips and stuff. Anthea posed a really good question about asking how you deal with when you take on other people's energy and stuff, or when you're feeling a bit stinky. So go back onto the wall and have a look, and if you've got some feedback for that question, pop it in, and if you want to comment on what other people have done, please do so. And remember, that is walnutting as well, not just actually interacting, not just sitting on the sidelines and watching, but making a conscious effort to go and try something and comment on someone and interact with someone who you've never talked to before. So yeah, which segues nicely into day 4, which I titled Conscious Living. I don't think that's a very good word. Oh, my screen went black. Where are my notes? I don't think that's a very good word. It reminds me of better living, everyone. So maybe we'll change the word together. I don't know, but you'll get what I mean. Stano says, I've realised I've thought I have a morning ritual of getting up, having a coffee and working out, but I've actually realized I have a morning routine of getting up, having coffee and saying I'm going to do workout and yoga, and I don't. I get carried away working, or say I'll just walk Luna first, then do my movement, and I just don't. Things get the better of me and I get busy. So I'm going to change that. That's such a good notification. I was going to say, it's a good realization, Stano. Yeah, the difference between ritual and routine is really weird when you actually start looking at it, isn't it? Bronnie says, I wake up wrong and groan because I hate the 2-hour mish to get to work. I feel you, girl, but affirmations are helping. I'm still working out which ones I like the best, so I may need some help there, but it is helping. Well, there you go. Well, post on the page and maybe we could all share what our affirmations are. In the first episode, I think people did share them in there, but yeah, maybe we can talk about it on our drive home when we will drive home together as well. Yeah, ritual versus routine, strange and fascinating. Totally. They're so different, but yet it's quite similar, and they get easily mixed up. But conscious living, which is kind of like what we've been talking about already, but I've always said that noticing is the best first step. Morning, Jen. And I am at a point now where I was kind of telling you guys the other day, I can kind of pick up the moment before it happens because I've been practicing noticing so much. But there are still situations where I have to like reflect afterwards. But yeah, I can now in some situations actually be like, oh, you are going to do this, change your attitude or something like that. Oh my god, excuse me. It's going to be hard. Okay, have a sip of my cough, you have a sip of your cough, and then we'll reboot in 2 seconds, 1 sec. 2 seconds, 1 sec. Laz. Okay, then I put in my notes the example, I actually have already shared it, of the customer who I thought was difficult, and I picked up straight away and was like, no, this guy needs my help, stop being a bitch. What can you do to make this experience better and not make him a difficult customer? You know, what can I do? What am I in control of? And then I got like that compliment from another customer who was in the shop listening and said I earned my extra saintlyhood points or something like that. So that's the example I use. But also in terms of like conscious living, I had a moment yesterday where I was after my lunch break, which I had by myself and people watched, and sat by myself for the whole hour because I don't normally take lunch breaks, and I was just feeling a little bit stinky. I was walking back to work. I think I still had like 10 minutes left on my break or something, and there was like this tiny bit of road where there's like the walking man traffic light, and normally you just cross it if there's like room, if there's no cars coming, because it's like it is. And I went to, and then I like caught myself. I was like, wait, why am I in a rush to cross the road? Like, why do I have to get back to work? And I just asked myself that, and then I decided, I just kind of like took a little step forward into the bit where the sun was, and I was like, no, I'm just going to be present in this moment. So I waited, which was like the whole like light cycle, which was kind of like, felt like forever. I waited, I felt the warm sun, which was like, oh, that's quite nice. Sitting in an office all day, the nice sun is quite delicious. Felt the nice sun. Then I like got a bit hot because I was wearing cardi, and then a beautiful breeze came behind my back, and I was sat there thinking like, why the fuck am I rushing to go to the office when I still have 10 minutes? Why? Morning, Nicola. I don't know, and it was just like a really, really beautiful moment that I think I'm actually going to remember for a really long time. And then I crossed the road when the light man came, and it felt like so long, and it was like this real polarity where it was like, oh, I could just freaking cross the road. I'm so impatient, like, why don't I just cross the bloody road? And then another part was like, nah, just enjoy this moment, enjoy the now. Which, yeah, so that was really cool. Hannah said, I heard something cool the other day where you change I have to do to I get to do. I get to get up today. I get to go to work today. I get to make my kids lunches, etc. Yes, I love that. I heard that on a podcast actually somewhere, but that's a really, really, really good, like, would it be an affirmation? I guess it could be. Or a mantra thing. I think that's delicious. That might help for sure. Yeah, Bronnie says, Sarah says, that's brilliant. Bronnie says, thanks so much, Hannah. I'm going to use that tip. Yes, I get to. Yeah, so maybe I was like, I get to stand in the sun for an extra 5 minutes rather than like, oh, I should go to work. I may as well just cross the bloody road. Yeah, does that make sense? So, in terms of like me being able to pull myself up before the thing happens and live consciously, I really don't like the word. I don't know if you can think of a better word for like conscious living, please let me know, because I don't like saying it. But yeah, it started for me when I started this little P-Dizzle journey, personal development journey, and I started to like notice things about myself, and that's when I realized I didn't actually like myself, and I got to a point where I was like, I don't know what I enjoy anymore, la 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 la. We all know the story. And I looked back on times when I was young and when I did stuff that I wasn't like so happy with, and looked back on why I did that, and I started to enjoy why I did those things, and or why I felt like I had to do those things, and think about them in more detail than just like, oh, Farah's such a bitch. Like, but think about like, why was I a bitch? What happened to make me feel like I needed to be a bitch, or whatever. Like all the times where I wasn't a bitch all the time, but yeah, so I started to reflect on things when I was younger, and then like recently in the past few months I've started to reflect on how I feel after I say yes. Living with intention, yeah, I think that sounds better, Stano. I like that much better. That's like the, I'm going to talk about that in a second. Living with intention, that's much better. Living with intention. I don't have a pen. I'll try and remember pre-coffee. Then I started to reflect on how I felt and what I was doing when I started saying yes to things that I didn't want to do, well, or that I felt like I should do. Probably a little part of me wanted to because I didn't want to like disappoint someone, but I knew that deep down it wasn't for me. So thinking about when I've said yes to things, thinking about how I felt when the odd time, which I've been practicing lately, as you guys know, of saying no and having my space and making those boundaries, thinking about how that makes me feel, what it feels like in my body, how what my stress levels go like, that kind of thing. And then, like we talked about yesterday, reflecting on why I'm feeling wrong when I wake up wrong. What has happened that week, that month, to make me feel that way? And so now I tend to check in just after moments. If I haven't done it before I've created the moment, because I'm still learning as well. Check in after moments and just recognize that life is actually just a series of moments in the now, and then they become a memory and a reflection. So living with intention, I think, is such an important part of walnutting, or starting to notice and reflect so that we can start living with intention. I think is like such a key part to walnutting, because it makes you try to make every moment count, you know, like even like crossing the fucking street, know what I mean? So yeah, life is a series of moments. Sarah said, yes, I love pausing and questioning why I'm doing certain things, slowing down and considering the here and now. Yeah, it's really, really, really weird when you do it. Like, the only thing I can think of right now is the crossing the road thing, but like that whole, Jamie Ray, good morning, the whole battle between like, oh, just cross the road, or no, just enjoy the sun. Really like masculine and feminine energy, like go go go, or no, relax. Like this little two yin and yangs inside your little body. Speaking of body, your girl bench pressed 30 kilos today. 2 lots of 6. I put them on the thing. I was like, oh my god, I hope I don't embarrass myself and drop the weight and like strangle myself. But I didn't, and I did it. Go me, I'm getting strong, but back to living with intention. So started with reflections and just noticing, and then like also like congratulating, like noticing is the best first step. What I always say, that's walnutting. Taking the moment to reflect and look back and go, wow, that's what I just did. Even if it's like not good, even going, oh, I was just a real bitch. Why? That's walnutting. So celebrating when you do those things as well. Yes, girl, yes. It says yes, but I think you mean yes. And then you said why yes, but I get it, son. I got you. So being conscious is really, really hard. Really, really, really hard. And that's why practicing is good, and that's why even like I'm not a profesh, I still like have to like look back on some of my moments, but then other moments I can catch. I've put here there, the term ignorance is bliss. It really, really does reign true, and especially if you're quite mosh like me, or quite empathetic, or in human design if you're like an emotional authority, or you have like an open emotional center, sometimes it can be really, really sore, and it can hurt, and it can suck. It can really, really suck when you're not being ignorant and when you're being intentional with your life. So little disclaimer for intentional living. It's again not sunshine and rainbows, but as long as I celebrate the small things, the small bites will eat an elephant, that's where I try and, you know, recognize like the little wins in the everyday. So it is hard. It is really hard. Sometimes it's really sore. So yeah, and I've put here, I'm now at the point where if I'm being passive aggressively attacked in a conversation, I can quite easily let it like bounce off of me, and not have that energy, that person's pass ag, be stuck in me because I know it's not mine. And that's kind of like what I talked about in last week's episode 14 about intentional listening, or as Jamie Ray says, listening with intent. Listening to what the person you're talking with is saying, and listening between the lines. So yeah, it's like, I put the quote, has anyone seen the movie Superstar? It's a really old one. It's like one of Will Ferrell's very, very early movies. He's not the main character, but okay, I'm not even going to tell you the pretense of the story, but she's this weird girl, and she says to people, I am rubber and you are glue, and anything you say to me bounces off of me and sticks to you. So put that in your back pocket. She's like this really weird girl, but yeah, from noticing, intentionally listening and reflecting on things, now in a conversation, if someone's like saying something at me that I'd be like, ouch, you're mean, blah, I'm actually like, why are you saying that to me? So I am rubber and you are glue, and anything you say to me bounces off of me and sticks to you. Yeah, I love that movie. Yeah, it's so funny. It's so good. I've actually got it on DVD. So yeah, active listening has really, really helped, or listening with intent. Jamie, listening / speaking with intent, and know your objective. Yeah, know what you want to say, what they want to say, what we want the outcome to be, all of those like delicious conversational things. Last week's podcast, episode 14, intentional listening. Yeah, I talk a lot about how important it is to listen between the lines to what the person you are conversing with is really saying, and it actually makes conversation so much more enjoyable. I touched on this a little bit, but we are in a time and age where everything is so fast. We have like a wealth of knowledge at our fingertips. We don't have to go to the library, look up an encyclopedia to find out information about World War II. Is World War II in an encyclopedia? You know what I mean? We don't have to like cycle a mile, well, I don't even know how long a mile is, to go somewhere to get information. We can just literally go on our phones, go on the computer, find the information, and bleh. So it's made everything quite like really surface. I said this yesterday, everything has sort of become quite surface level, and those deep and meaningful conversations don't happen as much. I know that when I did my lives a wee while ago, we talked about how we do talk about the DNMs with our close friends and stuff, but I think even having an interesting intellectual conversation is so far and few between now. Like the last good conversation I can remember was what I talked about on that podcast episode last week, was where me and my friend were actually talking about listening with intentions, and listening between the lines and listening to what people are actually saying to you. And we were talking about that. We were like bantering back and forth to each other, but waiting for that person to finish, processing, and then responding, rather than like, she's saying something, I'm thinking of what I'm going to say right now, and I'm going to interrupt. I'm not actually listening to what she's saying. Does that make sense? So yeah, I find that like having genuine, interesting conversations about stuff that like we like, kind of, it doesn't really happen anymore, in my opinion. You can totally disagree with me if you want, but I hope what I'm trying to say about like living intentionally is making sense. Babe, I'm going to catch the rest on replay, and I do what I say and go move my body. Have a fab day. Okay, Stano, that sounds good. I'm nearly actually finished anyway, so that's cool. Have fun moving, baby, you sexy lady. Yeah, I'm basically almost done, but yeah, active listening comes from noticing. So even if you're having a conversation with someone, check in with what you're thinking about, check in with what you're thinking about replying, and see how much more enjoyable it can be. And then you can pat yourself on the back for being a walnut for checking in while you were conversating. And you might even find that you have a delicious conversation and find out so many interesting things. Hope this makes sense. I hope this makes sense. So everything we do is a choice, and everything we do, we have the choice to be conscious and intentional about it. So a quote that, has anyone listened to the episode this week? Anybody? I know Hannah has, because she posted it. But a lady whose podcast I listened to, Kate Decker, she interviewed this lady who's like super rich, and they were talking about fears and things like that, and she said you can be scared and stuck, or you can be scared and a millionaire. So it just is that thing where you decide, which is walnutting. You decide how you want to interact. You decide if you want to autopilot cross the road, or decide if you want to stand in the sun for 5 more minutes. And once we understand this, once we understand that being scared, fear, bully demon, imposter syndrome, all that is always going to be there, but we can decide what we do with those feelings. I've kind of gone full circle into everything I've talked about, and it's not really talking about intentional living anymore, but I hope this makes sense, because I also am not feeling very delicious, so I have rambled a little bit in a big circle. So yeah, that's me for today. I just want to remind you that today is the last day to screenshot my little face, and share it on your Instagram or Facebook story or feed, or post it and tag at Walnut Wednesday, so you can go in the draw to win the prize, which I will do tomorrow. So all the screenshots, like the entry thing is going to close at 7:30 tomorrow when I start my live, because then I'm going to do the draw within that one. So you can have up to 5 entries into the draw. All you have to do is do a screenshot of day 1, 2, 3 and 4 and tag Walnut Wednesday, and you get the bonus 5th entry if you share the podcast from this week, episode 15. So yeah, any feedback, totally welcome. You don't have to post it on here or like on the wall. You can private message me if you want to, but if you have any feedback about these, it's obviously still my it's still my first time like ever doing this. I'm still like a little bit poopy panty and all the things. I'm actually really happy that I don't feel that great today, because it made me feel like what it feels like to still show up and do it anyway. So I feel like I've walnutted today from showing up as well. So yeah, please give me feedback if you feel feedbackical. Nicola, thanks, really enjoyed listening. Thanks for being here, Nicola, I really appreciate it. So yeah, have a lovely day. I hope you do something intentional today. If you do, please feel free to share on the wall so that we can all like celebrate with you, celebrate your small bites, and yeah, let us know. So thank you everyone for your time, and I love you lots, and I will talk to you tomorrow for the draw of who's going to win the prize. I've got the book back. This book winner, I'm talking to you, whoever you are. This book will make you feel so good inside your body and outside your body, and you'll just want to hug it like how I'm holding it now. You'll just, it's so good, and it takes only 5 minutes to read, and you don't have to like read it in order. You can just read any page you like, and it will change your life in the best way. And you get your very own walnut t-shirt as well. And your copy winner is on its way now, so I should actually get it. So you won't get it on Friday, unfortunately, but it should be in the mail by me next week. So I will get in touch with you, Mr. or Mrs. Winner, and let you know like the details. But it's on the way, I promise. It's ready for you to hug and love. Thank you, Les. I hope your day gets better and you start to feel good. Thank you, Bron. I'm sure I will. It's just a little stinky. It's not even a bully demon, it's just a stinky feeling, and I'm sure it will be fine. But I'm going to reflect, process why I feel this way, and I'm probably going to talk about it with Jamie when she gets to work, because sometimes it's nice to just talk to somebody in a conversation with intention, listen to what she has to say, process it, and then insert my reply. So have a lovely day, walnuts. Thank you for your time and for being here and for listening to my rambles, and I will talk to you tomorrow for the last day. 5 out of 5 tomorrow. So yeah, thank you so much. Bye.